for their guns, they're going to vote against the black guy running for governor. So he lost on one of the closest elections. I think it was the closest election in history. And I really was, many of my friends said, you should never have done that. Look what you've given us now. Terrible governor. But here's one funny story. Now we run something else.
Yeah.
During the Obama campaign in 2008, I get a call from LA Times reporter whom I knew. He's doing a story on this whole Bradley effect because it came up again with Obama. So they got a lot voted for Obama. He said, I read all those stories. It wasn't the Bradley effect. It was your initiative. Why you lost. So I get these calls over here. I said, well, look, anytime you have a close election, only one thing can make the difference.
100%.
But I said, I know Tom Bradley took to his grave. He was long dead. The fact that my initiative cost him the election. He told people that. But what always bothered me is I never had George Bush Mason, who won, thank me for getting him elected governor. And it's kind of a joke. He said, oh, no. I just talked to him yesterday. He said he never would have won without your initiative. I said, oh my God, that's the last thing I want to hear. Confirming my little joke. So I know I've always been involved in guns, trying to get a handle on it. I can tell you this, as ambassador to Italy, the most common observation, what is wrong with America's crazy fascination? They have no idea, Americans don't, how we're looked at when you have these hugely disproportionate numbers of people because they don't have guns. When I tried to get that initiative passed, there were estimated to be 60 million guns in circulation in America. Now it's about 350 million. And so now it really is out of control. No other country has mass circulation of guns available, military style guns. I mean, they think we're nuts, so we are. And Obama was very strongly in favor of measures, so I was just speaking for his policy, but I would never apologize for America. I said, look, I can't defend it. There's no way we could defend it. We have to change it. We can't give up. But look where we are today. Look at the shootings that just occurred in 2 weeks' time. Just unbelievable.
So John, after this, you just keep plowing ahead, right? You a few months later, you're talking to Senator Grassley about.
Well, I came back. Yeah, right? I came right back after the program. My year was up. I didn't have any. That was my job to come back to.
Right.
And then I was really devastated. I felt I really failed, and I started immediately looking about where we're going to get resources to keep the firm going and researching in areas like nuclear power is a topical issue, and foundations are really support investigations and lawsuits, and we had a number of those. So I'm just doing research, and I come across this old relic of a law that I had never heard of, called the False Claims Act. And I started reading it and said, oh my God, can you believe this? You could be a private attorney general. You can represent the government, and you can get the percentage of what the government gets back, and you can root out fraud. But of course, what happened is the law was completely dormant for 75 years because of very restrictive Supreme Court decisions and other decisions. And it was just not functional. It didn't ever achieve its objectives. It was past the administration of Abraham Lincoln. That's why it was called the Lincoln Law, to deal with the fraud against the Union Army. But it was an effective tool, and really was completely invisible. Nobody, including me, had ever heard of it. And I said, boy, I looked at it carefully, and if I can make some adjustments and changes or recommend adjustments, this could be an amazingly powerful tool. So what was I just saying?
Yeah, you were saying it took you a while to, after you
I saw it, go through, I figured out amendments, make them as discreet as possible. We still want to call it the Lincoln Law.
Yeah.
And, cause it's aged, or on our great patron saints. And you want to also emphasize here that we're everybody's against fraud against the government. This is, and so I'm trying to pitch both the argument as the drafting it, what's going to sell. And these were different times. We've got to make it bipartisan as best we could. Cause it was everybody should be against